Hi, my name is James Choi, and I will be presenting today the corporate communication titled Mission Command of the Army. So here's today's presentation agenda. I will present you what the Army structure looks like, what the Army's mission command is, followed by the three major functions that allows for successful communication within the Army, which is direction, motivation, and correction. Introduction. So mission command is the development of next generations of leaders by encouraging ingenuity with clear expectations and authority and accountability. So this is the Army has multiple communication processes and systems that allows the Army to achieve its end state. And one of the core functions within the Army is trust. Without trust, communication can be broken and it may not be efficient. So, providing the subordinates to take prudent risk and clear intention comes from mission command. Also, there are numerous communication tools that a leader can utilize, but there are also many leaders with different communication skills that exist. They can be positive or negative, and that is what makes the Army unique and diverse. Here's the Army's organizational structure. I'll start by explaining the corps level. The corps level has 35,000 personnel, followed by division, which has 10 to 18,000 soldiers, going to brigade, 3,000 to 5,000, battalion from 500 to 900, company from 10 to 200, platoon level 16 to 40 soldiers personnel, and squad, which consists of 4 to 10. Also, the command level from ranking is general to staff sergeant. This is the chain of command where communication gets broken down to the lowest level. So again, the Army is a massive organization with a lot of people. So the communication is very critical to get down to all the people to understand what the intent and purpose is. Okay, so what is mission command? So mission command dictates what senior leaders provide guidance and intent to the subordinate leaders. They provide the what and why, while the subordinate leader who are receiving the information does the how. They get to make the communication theirs, understand it, to be able to brief it to their subordinate, and to really make it very detailed so there's no gaps within the communication. So again, trust is the middle of this relationship with senior and subordinates. There must be that trust for the senior to be like, hey, I trust you to execute this, so there has to be trust. In this picture, it's a leader briefing the organization or the unit of an operation that is going on. In this, the leader has to communicate with all the audience about the mission, about the operation, for them to go to their team, their group, to share what they learned. And with that, there has to be that listening, there has to be that deep understanding within the operation, and the communication is pretty much open form in this kind of setting. So over here I have two diagrams. The left is a pyramid from intent to directive. So the intent starts from the very high up, like from the general, and to directive is to like the lower level soldiers and whatnot. So the intent is very broad, where they just shoot out, this is what I want, and the directive is where the ground level, where the communication is more deep and detailed, and there must be a personal relationship kind of to carry on that communication, because there will be more questions and answers as there's detailed things to accomplish the mission. To the right is a shared understanding diagram, which has trust and mutual understanding within the organization. So it combines the mission and the people together, and with this unity of effort, it builds a team. Mission command also is the process of the communication process of disseminating information quickly, acknowledging the information, and to execute. The core foundations of this process is direction, motivation, and correction. Correction, excuse me. So direction. Informing is a simplistic form of communication, and it is to provide the guidance and direction. The Army Doctrine Publication 5.0 states that emphasizes trust and shared understanding among the organization. It is by building teams and accepting risk that will meet the commander's intent. So, with all that understanding, you will not have this way, that way, or another way. Everything will be a little bit more clear because there is that clear guidance. So no one is in a definite sheet of music. Continuing on with direction, leaders brief, they can have audience that will listen and adapt to the mission set to share with their own subordinate to accomplish the given task. This kind of communication is to understand deeply what is being communicated. So there must be listening, and there must be exchange between one another of question and answer and whatnot. And the shared understanding is for the organization to have, so everyone is in the same sheet of music. One example that I would like to share with you is a soldier without a purpose or guidance or a mission would be confused. They would be complaining and wasting their time and saying that the leadership doesn't care for them. But one soldier understand what the mission or purpose is, they would be more motivated. They would have a purpose. They would own that mission set, so they can be efficient to the team. Which creates motivation. So second is motivation. Motivation is the art of communication, which requires different styles of approach to get the communication across. 2 points that I want to focus here was positive counseling and award recognition. So I wanted to read out a quote that I found that research was conducted. It says, "People work for money, but go the extra mile for recognition, praise, and rewards." So it shows that there is power in motivation, and motivation does come from verbal and non-verbal communication from leaders within the organization to do better. Also, it improves the organization structure, so it would create a positive command climate and also make everyone want to do the right thing even when there's no one watching. Here are some like ribbons. Ribbons are one way of the Army rewarding and recognizing soldiers, whether through promotion ceremonies or just a recognition in the end of the day. It's a really good motivation for the soldiers and for the people who are in the audience. Lastly is correction. This is the most time-extensive process. The Army has a system of after-action review. This is a system where every participant participate and provide feedback to improve the organization. This is usually done after an exercise or an event to improve um, future operations or future event that may occur. So they don't want to make the same mistakes twice, and to improve the organization. And this requires leaders to listen and take notes, and for the audience to share what they think and their opinions and advice or whatnot. Critiques can improve and change the course of how an organization runs. And in this case, this is a really good fundamental that the Army continues to advocate for and do. And this is a good communication that must be mastered or practiced within the organization to continue to make better of the organization. Also, research also suggests that employees are more receptive to corrective feedback if they have quality relationship with their supervisor and if they perceive their supervisor as successful, knowledgeable, and caring or understanding of others. So if there is a deep understanding or connection within the leader and the subordinate, the communication is good, then there is more room for a betterment, quality work, and performance. One serious quote that I consider that hit my heart was when I heard, "The day the soldiers stop bringing you their problem is the day you stop leading them." This is something that, as a leader, you would never want it to happen because it would just slow down the organization and not improve the organization. It could cause risk, it could slow down and maybe damage the environment of the organization. So you always want to be able to be that leader to communicate and be open for everyone to come to you, whether it's good or bad. Lastly, to conclude, I want to emphasize that the Army communication process is to disseminate the information quickly, to acknowledge the information, and to action the order until it is complete. Corporate communication within the Army is about soldiers, leaders, managers, board members, etc., to communicate within the organization to accomplish the given mission. Okay? And there is no I in team or teamwork. It is all a group effort. Communication cannot be a one-person show or an individual, but it is a group effort. And communication will be successful with everyone working together and when that communication is getting across. And I wanted to conclude by saying thank you to my peers in this class for providing great advice and tips and experience during our weekly discussions. I hope our relationship continues to happen in the future. And I also want to recognize Professor Sharp for providing us the tools and resources to be successful, not only in our professional work area, but as personal, personal life and enrichment. So thank you. And here are my references if you are interested in looking at some of the source. Thank you for your time.